that I took with my Samsung camera, and this image is a very large image. I believe it's 10K and a 10K image, so we're going to put it in the background. Well, it's actually 20K. I'm not sure. It's 20 megapixels. I'm not sure how many K. It's 200 megapixels. Okay, so it's going to be a very high resolution picture that we're going to put in the background of an image. And I'm going to try putting Ultra Scenery 2 in front of it. And then we're going to put a Daz figure into the scene. So we'll see, okay, how this all works. And, oh, we have to have a little bit of music. And this is EZ3DTV. And welcome. So we are going to get right into it and start working on a scene here today. And our music will fade out shortly here. And we're going to see what we have here. Now I could work with, I'm going to put the image in first because I just kind of want to see what we're working with. So we're going to create a primitive. I'd say 10 by 20. Okay, is probably good. We can stretch it out if we need to. I'm going to straighten my perspective view so we're looking straight on. Select the plane, and then we're going to go to parameters. It's usually the X rotate, and that's what it is. And we're going to go at 90 degrees here. I've walked 5 miles today, so today is not going to be a long tutorial, okay? So over 5 miles I've walked today, so we're going to go Z with this. Okay, we're going to go back. Okay, now we're going to find the image, surfaces. No, it would be no plane, surfaces. And we'll mess with this a little bit, but we're going to see what we have, what browse. Okay, and I have put the put the image down into here, into this folder. And we're looking for an image. I think I called it crane because it has 2 cranes in it. But I don't think you're going to be noticing them in the image. Okay. See the cranes here. There's one here and one. It looks like 2, but I think it's only 1. I'm not sure. Okay, so what we do is we take this image, again, back to parameters. And I think it would be the X scale. Yes, it is. And there it is. It's our image. And then what we're going to do is we're going to also load this image onto we're going to turn it into an HDRI. So we're going to put it on our emissive color, which is here. We're going to turn the emissive color to white. And we'll give this probably a 2 in front of it. And we're also going to come here to our glossy color and make it black, so it doesn't have a shine on the image, okay, that would like possibly interfere. The sky isn't shiny, okay, just so you know. So I'm not sure how big everything is in the scene until we put a person in here. So now thinking of bringing this image into Photoshop. So what if we open this in Photoshop and we click new file and no, open file, open, and we're here. This is this is this folder, and we're looking for crane. I'm thinking of taking the cranes out, okay, so that, because if I was going to zoom in on the cranes, then that might be, they would actually be part of the storyline. So what I'm going to do is just go like this and draw a little circle around the crane here, like that. Generative fill, generate. Go bye-bye. And this one here. And okay. No more crane. And then it looks like there's a piece of trash or something down here, or a rock. Get rid of that. And everything else looks like it belongs here. Okay, well, we can zoom in and just make sure. Okay, this does look good now. And now what I'm going to do, all right, we're just going to go File, Save As. We're going to call this Cranes Edit. And we're going to save that in the same place. And we're going to, I don't want this. Why did Photoshop have to take this? Why couldn't we have had the save menu all in the same place? Really, you know, it's not that hard to do this. So Cranes Edit. I don't know how many times I have to go and reverse back out and click. Oh, this copy menu, this stupid copy menu. All right, JPEG. Okay, I've just lost my train of thought. Do I want this as a JPEG? No. Well, we'll use a PNG. Then it won't screw with the... It'll take a while to save it. What is our resolution of this image? It's going to take a long time to save this. Come on. Welcome, Angus. Welcome, 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 friend. It's nice to have you here. This is the image that we have. Lithium Logica. Did you see the new Daz update video? I have not watched the video. Neat search function stuff. You can right click on a product and tell Daz to check for the license. Makes knowing what I have licensed a lot easier. I haven't licensed anything in regard to, like, I don't have, you know, any game licenses, you know, I believe I own the licenses to everything I purchased. I'm not certain, but, you know, I have the license to put it in, you know, an image, you know, and market that image. But when it comes to the ability to, I guess there are different licenses, like some things you can, what are they called? Where I'm not sure. You can talk a little bit about that, Lithium Logica, if you want, what this licenses mean to you, and we can carry on a conversation about that. So, image, what's this image size? I think it's 16K. All right, so this is a 200 megapixel image. Okay, so what we're going to do is come back here into Daz. We're going to load the 200 megapixel image, reload it without the duck, without the birds. I know they're kind of nice, but okay, this is the edited version. Cranes, and we're going to come down in here. What are the there are some, like, you know, I've been wanting them to, so I can't really talk about this change because I didn't watch the video and I really didn't spend a lot of time reading and trying to understand. But it's like they said, oh, well, you can now put tags on items and find them easier. And it's like, I thought to myself, why do I have to do that? Why don't you have artists put the right tags on things so that when we search for them? So like this stuff should be done, this tagging and all of that should be done at the source so that everybody who owns all this stuff, so you don't have 50 million people putting tags on the same darn stuff. Okay, to prevent using something I don't have a license to. Yeah, we see I don't use Unreal Engine. I don't work for a game company. So, that to me, even though if I did buy, I've never bought an interactive license. I've never bought a certain figure that I wanted to use in a game because, it takes 200 people about 10 years to make a blockbuster game and about maybe $20 million at least. So, I'm not going to be buying interactive licenses. So that part right there, even though it's very important to be able to find, but I would think somebody who buys interactive license would just, have an Excel sheet with everything they own, in it with all the information in it anyway, So because that's the way a big company works, they cover their butt. And they just put all their stuff in an Excel sheet, and so they know what they own and what they don't. So, but that's pretty nice, that you can search for your interactive licenses. I find that important. You can have Daz search their tags for you. Way easier. Nice for me. Also, 3D printing licenses. Yeah, and see, I don't own a 3D printer. I just don't have the clientele who would buy anything I've ever made. So, I don't, it's really not that cumbersome because you can go into your Daz library and they give you a full line. You can just go into your Daz library and select page by page by page and literally just paste it into Excel and have every model that you own and the date you bought it, all kinds of stuff just paste right into Excel. And that's because I have to do that for my taxes. And so it's really nice how Daz has your account set up where you can just go in and copy your stuff and paste it right into Excel. So now when it comes to artists who make content, it would be nice to be able to know, can I use this content in my promo image or can't I? Can I use these clothes? There's a merchant, what's it called? Merchant. Now that would be important, okay? So merchant something, merchant resource, or is it merchant resource, okay? So it would be nice. Now that would be very helpful because, I don't make my own content in Daz Studio. But if I did, I'd like to know what content I'd be able to. It'd be nice to just be able to search just merchant resources. Yes, it would be very nice to be able to search. I bet that's not included, but who knows? So, who knows? Maybe it is. So it's just, it's hard to say. Now, what I would like to do maybe with this image, why does this image look so much prettier here than it does in Daz? It just doesn't have any, it's because my my perspective view, the environment options, my lighting in here, all of this. Let's not worry about the way the image looks right now. Let's bring a figure into the scene. Okay, so we'll bring our Genesis 9 figure in. And then we'll put some, maybe a Genesis 8 morph. I think I'm going to turn this person into Vincent, my new Genesis 8 figure that I created, their own face. So, and I think we're going to put Vincent in like some kind of like Zen pose where he's sitting and, well, he's bigger than I thought he was going to be, or, well, it's not quite a he or a she right yet, but let's put Vincent, let's put the morphs on Vincent. We're going to call this Vincent 9, just so I know kind of, but it will be in the morphs anyway, Vincent. So we go V-I-N-C and see if we can find him. Okay, we're going to put the body morph and the head morph on, and now we got Vincent. How nice. So the reason I bring it up is because it's going to help me a lot, and your videos will let others know, so maybe it'll help them too. I wasn't sure if it would help you. No, actually, it was very nice. Lithium, this is I wouldn't say more so than anything, this chat is for you guys. These forums, and I mean, this channel is for you guys. It's for you to come in and ask questions and say, how do I do this? And sometimes I'll just drop stuff in the middle. Welcome, N. Cherry. Welcome, 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 dear friend. It is lovely to have you here. This channel is your channel. It's your channel to come in. And as long as the chat isn't going so fast that I wouldn't be able to possibly ever read it, in time, as long as it's not going that fast, this is for you, okay? And so when also I asked Daz, in one of my threads, I've complained about the search functions, okay? And I have complained, and what really bothers me about search, okay, this is what bothers me the most about search, is that I'll come into search, all right, let's go to files, and I'll say like blue fence. All right, and what I'll get is everything with the word blue in it, and everything with the word, I think fence is spelled, F-E-N-C-E, or let's say blue tower. All right? And, okay, and I'll uncheck this, and I'm going to get everything with blue in it, okay? And everything with tower in it. And if you put it in quotations, like I say blue fence, this is what usually you can do, is put something in quotations. All right, now look at this. It seems as though this seems to have worked this time. Now, which one am I? I'm in the, all right, so maybe things have been fixed because, okay, red, let's say red moon. Okay, well, we got red candle. Why did we get red candle? Red. Okay, let's go. Okay, wagon. Let's go. Wagon. There's wagon. All right, well, it looks as though maybe something has fixed this, okay? Because, well, you know, because if I just put in wagon and wheel, all right, we get everything. We get wagon, everything that's got wagon, and everything with wheel. All right? So it's been fixed. It looks like. So, yeah, I will check the video. Thank you again. And thanks for letting, because it's very important to everybody here. You're right, Lithium. It's very important. So now if I put this in quotes, just to let you know, people, all I did was actually add a quote, okay? All I did was add one quote, and it seems to have done it, okay? So all I had to do was add one quote to the query, and it's isolating it. So that is not bad at all, okay? So it seems as though maybe our search, they have been fixing the search, and that's very important. So would you like to save changes? No, okay, we're going to save this as, I'm going to just call this crane, even though it has nothing to do with crane. All right, we'll call it Zen C. Zen City. All right. Save. Okay, and now we're going to give him a texture, a skin texture. So if I type in sand, all right, I can't believe that this might actually work. Okay, so now this is going to give me every color, anything to do with sand. But now if I type in desert, okay, it's going to give me everything that has to do, DES, everything that has the word desert in it, and everything with the word sand in it. But if I type now in one quote, then it gives me desert sand. See, this is very nice. Look at this now. Yeah, it's not here. Yeah, right. It's only in 4.23, which is only the beta. So this picture is a 16K image, okay? It's a 200 megapixel image that I took with my camera. And so you can see what we have here. And so I'm going to have him sitting in a pose, like a Zen pose. So, yeah, so we're going to put him in. Now, I was up until 6 in the morning redoing my poses because I lost them all when I lost my library. So now I have my poses back. So we're going to look and find a Zen. Let's see if we can. All right. Okay. So, all right. Now there was another thing where, okay, Lithium, this is very, what camera did you use? I have a Canon. I used actually the latest Samsung Ultra. The Samsung Ultra has a 200 megapixel camera. I'm not exaggerating or using the wrong number or whatever. Yeah, it has a 200 megapixel camera on it. That was why I had to buy it. And the old this is the S24, I believe. It's just been out like about 4 months or 5 months. This is the Samsung S24, and I bought this so that I could do this, so I could put 4K, 16K images into Daz Studio. Let's take a look at this image on the desktop. And if I click this image, just look at how far I can zoom in on this image. Look at this. You can see the cranes if I zoom in enough. You can actually. This is like a massive thing. And I didn't use a tripod. It might have even been, it does have image stabilization, but I might have been able to get even more. I mean, even when you zoom in, it still doesn't look, you have to go way in to get it pixelated. Plus, the camera also has an optical zoom, but I don't believe it will optical zoom in at 200 megapixels. You have to zoom in like, I don't know what, if it's 8x or something like that, so I could actually zoom in. Welcome, Art. Welcome, welcome. It's very lovely to have you here. We have Angus and Cherry and Lithium Logica. We also have, I don't know if 044 is still here. It's very nice. Art, it's wonderful having you all here. So we're just, okay, look at this. Now we have Dial Fusion and Lord of the Deep and Quadrupod. It's not showing. Okay, this, and I have, when I go into my filters, let me double check. But yeah, see, it says public build and private build and all of these, they're all checked. Because, you know, and like when I search now, you're right, Lithium, because when I search things in the Daz store now, I can actually find, I have to find a Zen pose. But I can actually find, all I have to do is put one quotation mark in the scene. And what about this one? I kind of like this with Vincent. This is the female, this is the male. Okay, this is kind of nice. Let's see what his pose looks like. Well, his leg looks weird. I'm not going to use that one. Where it bends too much, and I don't want to try to fix that. No? Okay, I didn't realize I could remove references right from there. Okay, come back, Daz. Come back. So, yes, it could have been, oh, yes, that is very smart, Lithium. They could have been updating the tag system. So, we're going to go back to poses. No, it's like, no, I don't want to delete my poses. That would be just horrible. I spent like 4 hours going and putting these poses back in. This is 9,000 poses in this folder, okay? And they all work with Genesis 9. I don't want to do it again. So we're looking for, I know somewhere in these poses I have some Zen poses. You have to go up first and then come down. I kind of wish it would start at the top. So yeah, this would kind of work too. We could put him over in the side here. See, what we're going to do is we're going to put an ultra scenery scene here and then put this behind it like that. So that hopefully the ultra scenery scene is just going to meld into the background picture. I don't see why it wouldn't, but we'll see what we can do. All right, how this works, if it works. It may not work. I don't know. I have no idea how this is going to work. This will work. This pose will work. I mean, it doesn't have to be in a Zen pose. This would work too. But I think I like this one. Okay, so okay, let's give him some skin. We're going to give him, this is my Vincent figure. Okay, I want to read the chats a little bit. I have to restrain my spending problem. This is really, really cool because all I did was put a quotation, one quotation in here. This means that we can now search I believe we can also maybe search here. So let's go. Now this Rex Red. Okay, we're going to go to poses and see what happens when we type Zen. Now it's going to search everything here. See, the way this works, you would think it would just search what I have selected here, but it doesn't. It just searches everything here. So the search here isn't that hot. I've never been able to get this search to work, like really do anything right. So, yeah, because you'd think if I selected poses and searched, it would search in poses. Nope, it doesn't. Okay, so there, the fact that Daz is working on the search it's okay. Like, don't distract them. Launching shuttles with this processing power and RAM. I would love to. Yeah, speaking of shuttles, we have the new commander stuff here. This fleet commander. Yeah. Did anybody buy this? Okay. I know I shouldn't have. I bought the bundle. So yeah, this whole bundle, the pro bundle, because I had to put my money where my mouth is, because it's Daz. When Daz makes some stuff, you buy it. When, now other vendors, when they make stuff, maybe, you can, but when Daz makes stuff, and this guy right here, this is the thing. When they make a character, where is he? Oh, well, it's hidden, because this guy right here, where are you? This guy. When you come in here and you see a figure and it says Daz Originals, buy it. You bought the bundle. Awesome. Awesome, Eve. Yeah, I mean, look at that skin and look at this figure. He's looks like he's as good as, as Nathan, so I just had to buy this. And who does he look like? He looks kind of like the Loki guy. Yeah, like the actor. They did a really good job with him. This is just really nice. And look at that skin. Let's find Nathan here. We're going to use Nathan's skin. Nathan's skin is still... Now, this guy's skin here is really, really, really good, okay? But I still think Nathan's skin is better, okay? So just saying... Nathan, here we go. I still think Nathan's skin is probably the best skin of any figure. And we put this skin on him. And we shall see what he looks like. But Nathan's skin is probably the best skin. I just made this massive skin folder now too. So yeah, that took me like all night to make. Now look what we got here. See, that's Nathan's skin. And that is a Daz original. So Daz has given us the best skin of all of our figures now. So we're going to go back here now, okay, and switch back to here. Let's look at the alias. Thalius here for Genesis 9. Let's see. This is Thalius. All mats. That's all mat. Let's put Thalius. Oh, we tried to put his skin on a plane. That wouldn't have been good. Body apply. Okay. It's lighter. Okay. It looks a little, that's nice, very nice skin. Yeah, it's very nice. Yeah, we'll use the Thalius skin this time. Let's get to the face a little bit. Now, the thing about Nathan's skin is it has 8K. If you notice if we go back to Nathan here, I think I'm going to go back to Nathan. Nathan has 8K bumps. It's like the only skin that I've ever seen that has, see the realism in this skin. And right now my, I think there's a camera light hitting him, so it's bright and it's kind of like deer in the headlights kind of thing. So just so you know, I think I'm partial to Nathan's skin. And they toted and said that like Michael 8 had like the best skin, but then Nathan came out like, and it was a Daz original also, and they've put all of this. Now I kind of expected this guy, this new guy, to have the same kind of skin as when we turn this off. I can't remember his name now. What? Vagner. I expected his skin to kind of be up to the level of Nathan, and it's not quite there, but maybe I'm just not using it right. But I went into my content library here, and we go and oh no, skins. Where is it? Skins. Now see, I have all of my skins in one folder, and this is just Genesis 9. Okay, so there might be a few that I missed. So it would be in the W. Are these done by T, V? So where is there's Wagner. Oh, and Thalius was the one. Yeah, we have Thalius here as well. Yeah, Wagner didn't impress me as much. So this is still. So I'm just kind of still with. I'm still with Nathan's skin. Is still the skin of all skins right now. For it's the best. So if you really just don't want to fuss with skin, Nathan is there. I don't feel like I need to put kind of anything on his skin here. So let's now we're going to build an ultra scenery world around this. Okay. So let's save this. This is called Zen City. Save. I just wanted to come up with a name. I'm going to put some clothes on, maybe a lumberjack shirt and some jeans or something. And so the new hair is pretty cool that we have. I haven't done my hair yet, so I haven't gotten all the hair into folders. Okay, so I'm going to do something right here. I'm going to go to this categories, right click, create a subfolder. And we're going to call hair. I'm just going to call it hair for now. And then I'm going to go here and to go to files. And we're going to turn off the filter by context, because I'm just going to put every kind of hair in here that I can. So we'll go to default and we'll go hair, and we'll get rid of desert sand. And we're just going to put all this hair here. So you select it, Control A, right click, categorize, and we're going to put this. So we have some of that in skin and some in the beard, but we're going to put this in all of it in hair. So I don't have to categorize and look through that stuff again. Now we go down here, we select hair. Now I've just got all this hair in here that I can just come into and look and say, what's here? And it may not be all the hair that I own, but okay, and hopefully there's no nude pictures here. It's not all the hair. I can tell right now it's not. So I think if I come back here now, and if I select like short hair, then you select all again, right click, categorize, and some of it will be in here and some will not, and you just put that in again. and it will put more in there. We come down here, click out, click back in. Now we have a bunch more hair. Now we'll go back up here, and we'll go by highest product ID first. This is the new, okay, this is Genesis 9 hair. Let's try this hair. And let's put a different color on it. Where would our materials be? Here, select the hair. I probably shouldn't be doing this until I actually have the Ultrascene 2, but let's see what we have. If an update didn't take, I'll roll back and have you restart. Yeah. But if it's firmware, maybe that's not why. When you change firmware, sometimes Windows then has to readjust. Okay, we don't want the gray hair. Okay, this isn't working. Have you ever had a scene where you have two characters in the scene, and one character just looks awesome, and the other character, it doesn't matter how you morph their face or what you do, they just look so goofy and so completely wrong, and no matter what you do, you just can't get them to look right. You know, they just, every face, every morph, everything you try, and it just doesn't look right. And it's only happened to me a couple of times, but then I've like spent hours and hours and hours. It kind of looks good, okay, but then again, it doesn't. So I'm just like really picky about my hair. Nelson hair. Is this the same thing? Let's try Nelson hair. Genesis 8 male. Again, I'll reiterate, don't, oh, look at that. Now that is it. This is my own character face. I used like 4 or 5 different Genesis 8 males and made this face from there, from like a little bit of this morph and a little bit of that morph. So, okay, let's put some pants on him. Clothing. I probably shouldn't be doing all this because I need to put in an ultra scenery scene, but I'll just mute him if I need to. I mean, like, I'll just hide him. Okay, so if I have to, let's go default, wardrobe. I wonder what this would look like on him. No, well, let's see what it looks like in iRay. It just doesn't look like what I would be expecting to see him wearing in this particular scene. Just something casual. Wayfarer. Let's go here. Wayfarer coat. Okay, pants. Let's try this stuff. The pants, the shirt, and socks. We don't need socks. Oh, maybe we do. And then we'll go with the loafers. And save this. I can't tell what's going on. This all looks good. Now, you know, he's got to have a belt, and there's no belt that comes with this unless I see something here. No, okay, so, and this is all dForce, so we could just run a quick simulation Simulation here. Turn this off. Simulate and see if we can get his shirt to... No objects to simulate. What? Try again. All right. Go back here. It says dForce, Wayfarer. Button shirt. Okay, maybe we have two versions of this. It says one is dForce and the other is not. Fingal. Okay, somewhere in here it might say. All right, let's take the shirt, pants and shirt off. Hey, Chris, welcome. I watched some of your videos the other night. It was very, very nice watching you work. Very nice. I watched one that you were working on some clothing, and I think I might have bought them. Oh, these are materials. So, okay. So, this is the wardrobe, Z. We're going to go back and put them on him. Why these aren't dForce? When it says they are. So what if we just take this the shirt, let's turn off the pants, let's go out of iRay so we don't get in trouble here. We'll take the pants and turn them, hide them for a moment, and we're gonna put see if we're gonna put dForce on the shirt. Let's see, object, dForce, geometry, dynamic. Yes, I think if it's you who made this, okay, let's try to run a simulation now. The combat clothing that was in, that is some of the finest Daz clothing. It's got all kinds of pouches on the clothing. That is like really nice work. I just amazed by how realistic and tight, you know, the work is in that. Simulate. Let's see what happens when we simulate this shirt. See, there's no dForce on that shirt when we started, but there is now. And it didn't blow up on us. Okay, now what happens when we put the pants back on? It looks like it worked. The shirt just tucks itself in. Now, after 2 reboots, does everything seem like it's working right now, Art? Let's see what this looks like. I think the collar may have flattened itself out when I did that, but it looks okay. Now, see, this looks like it's natural on him. Serenity, Rain, and 3D, Rain and Thunder. Good evening to you. But I want photoreal, and this right here, I think we got 4,000. Okay, I think I got to cancel this. Yeah. All right, let's move ahead. So I just thought I would show you what's left about trying to Yes, Blender is very helpful. I love Blender. And you know what? I'm going to tell you all that you have to spend some time in Unreal. You have to spend some time in Character Creator. You have to spend some time in these other programs. Just number one, because it's fun. You know, it's just fun learning Blender. It's fun learning Unreal. It's fun exploring these other programs. It's fun using Maya. It's fun using Material Designer. I came from never from it. It's fun using ZBrush. You got to learn all these programs. Just spend some time in them so you have a little bit of a knowledge of them. Okay. So, but then come back to Daz. If you're a scene creator, that's what you want to do. Don't be saying, oh, I want to use diffeomorphic and bring all my scenes into Blender and render them there. Don't. Okay. You can do it just for a couple of scenes, just to say I did it. Okay. Oh, Substance Painter is another one too. And you want to spend, and so is what's that one with where you make VDBs in it? Embergen, and they also Embergen. There's also now GeoGen, and there's also kind of WaterGen or something. Yeah, those are you. There's a lot of these little programs cropping up. Yeah, spend a little time in them learning to use them. And Marvelous Designer, yes. Marvelous Designer, and that was what I saw Chris working in the other night, and I was just blown away. I would love to learn Marvelous Designer, but you know what? I don't think that I'm the kind of person like Chris is to make clothing. I'm the kind of person to buy the clothing, the awesome clothing that he spends hours and hours and hours making, and just be able to click a button and put it on my character and run a dForce simulation, and there it is. This is where I'm at. Okay, I'm like at the end user. I want to use all these items and props and things and have them all in my head, and all these different things, products that everybody that and it's like I had to do some soul searching and say it's just there's no waviness or curls in it. And so this is pretty nice hair on him. This really looks like it fits him. And I think this is barely Genesis 8 hair. Yeah, and I'm super picky too, Lithium, and that's why like the clothing that people make, I seem to be so kind of just happy with it. For the male clothing and stuff, it's like the new stuff in the store here. This, we go back, it's like this right here. Look at this. I mean, this is amazing. It's like, who wouldn't like this? I mean, even though it's kind of like warrior and war oriented, I just lucked out on this one. So, and it was kind of because I had all of my hair in that one folder where I could just kind of go through and say, I think that would work. Actually, I didn't see that at all. That looks better than I recall. If it's an interactive license, I might. It looks like it does. I might get that. Well, that's part of the Vagner. That's part of the that Pro pack. Yeah, it's part of this Pro. And so get the Pro pack. It's on sale right now, and it's like $60 for the whole thing. We got to hide it, and then we got to bring it back. If you go ahead and come back, then these things are still kind of hidden. So where did it all go? Oh, it's somewhere here. Okay, now we all right, here it is. Where is it? The Vagner pack. Okay. I might have to go. Okay, add-on. I might have to go into that side thing. Okay, here's the starter bundle. Pro bundle, Vagner 9. Okay, this is it. Yeah, it's 102, but if you're I got it for I think $60. But look at all the stuff that comes with it. Okay, so and this is a pretty cool skin. The dark elf add-on. I think you get the skin with it, the shape add-on, and then you get the skin. But you get this skin. I would say, and then you get this warrior suit, and then you get the fleet commander suit, and this hair is amazing here. This is probably some of the best, and guess what? We actually have a curl here. And even though the sides of this hair, again, there's no little curls here, and this is kind of just combed back. And for a Daz original, this hair actually looks very realistic on your figures. It either looks good or it doesn't. That's the way a lot of the hair is. So it's better than what they've been doing. Okay, so than what we've been getting. And these eyes needed to be pulled out a little bit. Just that you can see it's not quite in the socket. So, and you have to resize them. You have to size the eyeball up, Daz, and you have to move them around. That's the way you made us Genesis 9. Give me a foxtail that doesn't make him look bald. Yeah. So, yeah, this is pretty nice hair. So yeah, this is nice. This is nice too. And now you'd think this hair that they might actually have made this a little more transparent so it doesn't look quite. But this is a nice piece of art here. This is really nice. So it's Daz. It's the Daz originals. Their promo images are usually really nice. I don't know who they get to do their promo images, but this is nice. Again, this hair looks a little bit coarse, but they only have so much time they can devote towards this stuff. So let's see what we have here now. The lighting on him, what I'm gonna have to do is put him in lighting that's going to be like this, where there's light coming through trees, and putting like a window blind kind of lighting on him. So it looks like he's in the trees with them, you see? So we got some things to do here. And that's where the ultra scenery comes in. So let's go into ultra scenery. Let's go create an ultra scenery 2. Okay, and now we're going to have to move everything up so that it will all be on the ultra scenery. Let's do that. We'll move Vincent up here so he's on the ground. Okay. All right. Here we go. And then we'll also bring our plane up. All right, we'll bring this. I have no idea what I'm doing right now, but see, this is kind of already starting to work a little bit. Let's see now let's go to our render settings. Okay, render. Okay, would you like to, cancel this. Choose a map directory. Yes. We go up this one, and we're going to call this Zen City. And select that. I hope that went in there. Okay. We don't have it. Okay, I didn't put any. I didn't put any ecology in yet. That would be an ecology preset. Let's go grassland. Okay, suddenly everybody's like gone into awe mode here or something. It's like watching this. This is ultra scenery too. So what do we got here? So let's see what this looks like. Pre-flight. I'm going to show you a trick about ultra scenery, okay? Look at this. So we've got, now this is kind of working, you know? All right, so I think maybe if we got rid of the flowers, because there's none in the back. So this is kind of marshland here, believe it or not. It's not like a grass field. It's actually marsh. If you go out there and stand there, you'll sink into the ground. It's like underneath it is mud, because sometimes this gets flooded on a really, really high tide. It's part of the marsh. It's just it sometimes because the water can come in and still and it's only there a little while because it's at the highest part of the coast. So it doesn't kill the grass because it's only there for a little while. So we close this. So let's try turning off the daisies. I think we go here in the render there. And now we try this again. Now we can turn off the pebbles and the river stones and because there's nothing in them anyway. So the road pebbles, I don't think we need the road pebbles because the road isn't in the purview of our scene. Okay, let's try this, which kind of that would just slow things down, the road pebbles. All right. Well, that didn't work. Oh, I must have left the daisies on. Okay, cancel this. Which then we don't have to have 10,961 daisies. Okay, I'm going to show you a trick here that's coming up, okay, about this. We're going to add some trees. Okay, look at that. See, this works. Now, we've got to work with our HDRI because we got all of this shadow work here, but no shadow work here, okay? And so this is why we've got to add a shadow map over this. And we're going to use the trees in ultra scenery to do that. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go into the biome layers here and add. We're going to go here. And I think maple trees or something. Oak, okay. Oak trees. So go ahead. Add some oak trees to our... Okay, I don't see any here yet. Oak trees, so it added 400 and... So now we have to come up here and it says forest. And we have to iRay preview. And that didn't work. Okay, now what we're going to do is create a camera. and select the camera. And then I'm going to go, I don't think on my script, I haven't put that in there yet. So we have to use this camera thing here. Okay, lock the camera so I don't keep moving it around. And then we're going to, oh, I don't want another. Okay, so now we go back to our ultra scenery. What happened to our trees? Okay, it says forest, and it should be showing us 100% of the forest. Now we down here, where are, oh, okay, it says, okay, they're in the viewport, they're turned off. So we turn them on in the viewport. Okay, now, okay, now we're going to talk about culling, okay? Now, you think, okay, culling is a good thing because it cuts everything out of the scene. And this, and now I'm going to say if anyone from Daz is watching this, and I think the person who works on ultra scenery, I think that's Howie Farks. All right, we need some stuff done with ultra scenery. Okay, hide items I own. Okay, was it Howie? Oh, I think it's Farks. Oh, let's just look up ultra scenery. Maybe that's actually, let's see who makes ultra scenery. Howie Farks. Okay. So, and Daz Originals. Okay, I guess Daz is, I think eventually Daz is going to take ultra scenery off Howie's hands. They do that, and ultra scenery someday may be an ultra scenery 2 is 64-bit. I didn't know that maybe ultra scenery 1 was 32-bit. Does anybody know? But okay. That's very interesting. 64-bit is amazing. Okay, so we're going to discuss culling, okay? Because now you figure what culling does is it cuts like anything beyond this point and this point. Like it won't put grass beyond your camera view on either side and in front of your camera. And even if it's a big gigantic field, then once it goes over a hill or something, then it will stop the grass going over the hill, because why do you need grass going way down a big hill if it's not in the view of your camera? Okay, just because it's in front of, now with the ultra scenery 1, if it was in front of the camera, it would still put grass there because it's in front of the camera. And so that was a big, big, big problem with ultra scenery 1, was that if you had a hill that went like way over, and say it goes over a hill, then goes way, way, way down this hill, that would put grass all down that hill, even though you couldn't see it in your camera, okay? Even though your camera couldn't see that grass over the hill. Now, you have down here, you see where this says, somewhere in here, I'm not used to this program, ultra scenery. It's new to me, so I have to kind of look around and look until I can find. Okay, now this is at the top. It says camera culling, and it says current camera, okay, or it says none. All right, and we're going to need much more sophisticated culling in this. Like, what if I don't want the trees culled, but I want the grass culled? I believe this. You don't have an option right now, and please correct me, anybody, if I'm wrong about this. But what we see here, it says culling, okay? But then when we get down here, we have another culling. Okay, and I have to always find it where it says, I think it's in here. Yes, it says back face culling. Okay, now, okay, back face culling. So road pebbles, okay, but there's no way to okay, preview layer. Okay, so here we got the oak. Okay, it says preview layer. There's no way to turn off this culling up here, and that's what we need. We need to be able to have the camera culling per item. So we could say, well, I want the grass culled, but I don't want, I want the trees to go all the way behind the camera. Why? And this is the trick I wanted to tell you about. Okay. Now, what if I want to have, see these shadows that are cast in here? Because the sunlight was behind me when I was taking the picture. Now we're talking about the image behind when I turn this off. See this image here, these trees are casting shadows all over the ground, but there's no shadows on him. Now, if I have camera culling, then it's not going to put any trees behind the camera. So how am I going to create those shadows? But then if I turn the culling, if I turn the culling just off, then it's going to put grass everywhere, and I'm going to end up with this massive, massive amount of grass. So how do you fix that? Okay, and there's no way. So the thing is that what you have to do is you just have to turn camera culling off. Okay, and because what'll happen, and you see the last scene that I made, it was like it was showing, because in the in your preview, it will show you the trees off. It only does this camera culling during the render. Okay, when you go to bring all this stuff into your video card, that's when it cuts all the grass out. That's when it cuts all the trees out. And so I kept going into my render, and it's like, where are all the shadows? Where are all the, where? And I didn't realize, and it took me a while, but I finally figured out that it was this culling, because I knew that it was culling, but it was like showing it in the view. I thought that it would, I assumed that it would cull it also in your scene view, in this preview iRay view, that it would display port, that it would do the culling here, and it doesn't. It's kind of weird. It just does, and so you'll get all these beautiful shadows here in the viewport, and then when you go to render, the shadows are all gone because it cut all the trees out. It did all the culling, okay? So you have to turn the culling off, okay? And then what I'm going to do is create a distant light. Just the default settings, okay? And when I create the distant light, that just turned off my camera light, okay? And now you can see this is creating some kind of some kind of like shadows here, but those shadows are from, and we go to render settings, those are from my environment options, okay? So what we're going to do is take and go to the environment options, parameters. So this gets kind of complicated a little bit, all right? But it's not like, believe me, I can't deal with like rocket science level complicated. So this is not that kind of complicated. So we're just going to turn our dome and scene only, okay? And so just so we have control of our light, remember, you've got to get control of your light. Now, because this when I turn this back on for a moment, see this does kind of this. If you'll notice this image here, the sun is in the center, but it's not a little teeny, not necessarily a little teeny ball. It's a little bit on the wide side. Now, the bigger the sun in your HDRI, the wider your shadows, and you see these shadows in here. They're not very, like these shadows in here are very hard. Okay, they look like very deformed, very formed shadows. These ones look kind of soft, and so I'm assuming that this HDRI is creating soft shadows. So that might be the time to turn this off, so that because your distant light is actually like a little teeny sun in the sky. It's not this big gigantic sun in the sky. It's kind of be nice to be able to take your environment in your distant light and create a larger shadow and the intensity, and maybe some of this does the shadow type, deep shadow map, ray traced. I don't know what these do, but I don't see anything that actually says, you know, point. It doesn't say like to make the sun of your distant light bigger or smaller. But all I know is the way the distant light works. It's such a small but bright spot in the sky that it creates the most beautiful hard shadows. Okay, so now if we turn this distant light lumens, okay, because when you put the distant light in, it has no effect. You have to bring the lumens up. Let's go 9. And you see it's creating something on the backdrop. We'll fix that, okay? But what's happened is the sun is down below the horizon. So it's just barely peeking up over the horizon. So we look through our distant light, and you can see it's just barely going through. So if we go like this, now notice all the trees, they're going to create a beautiful, see now if you have culling on, you're not going to see, and I believe this is where okay, let's see. That's, okay, that right there is roughly, you see that little spot? That's where my figure is also. There is my backdrop. This backdrop has got to go way, 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 way back in the scene so that it's not, so that it's even more. It's got to go way back in the scene so that the distant light doesn't affect it. Okay, now we go back to our camera view and we take our plane and we scale it up so that it's large, really large. Okay, and we can bring this up like this now. Okay, so here are our hard shadows. See, those are beautiful, aren't they? Now, the only problem is we're not getting any on him, so we go to our distant light. We just go back to our distant light, select the distant light. What's happening here? Z? What happened to my distant light? Oh, okay. All right. The distant light. Okay, we want... Oh, remember I brought the distant light now. And I'm going to show you another trick, because notice how it just made this look really bright now, which is kind of nice. It looks kind of nice, but who knows? Let's see. So we're going to bring this in like that, and let's go back now to our camera. Look what we have here. All right, so we go back to our distant light. We got to bring it up a little bit so that it comes in and actually puts some light on our figure. You kind of have to keep working with it. Oh. Camera. And you see this plane in the back? I'm going to show you a trick. you go to your surfaces, all right? It took me a long time to figure this out, okay? But you just go to your plane here, your base plane, and just drag down the brightness to where you want it to be, okay? So, yeah, this is a very cool thing. So you can just change the background, okay? So now we're still not getting any light on our, so distant light. Let's bring it up. Let's try this a little bit here like that maybe. Camera. Every time I move this distant light a little bit, okay, I'm going to turn up the distant light a bit more. We go to surfaces, parameters, distant light. Let's put a 1 in front of this. Okay, and I might have to bring that down a little more. Okay, go to distant light. Back to our camera. See what's happening here. We're going to get this guy to show a little bit more here. Now let's go back to our plane and surfaces. Okay, plane. And let's bring our base color down a little bit. Oh, I tell you, I just had no idea what to do about that, how to bring, and that just, it all of a sudden occurred to me, and sometimes I forget it because I struggled with it so hard at one point. It's easy to, things that come really hard, you forget very easy. So just, that's kind of funny, but that's the way it happens. Now, all right, what I'm going to do is, because these trees, instead of moving the distant light all around, what I can do is go into ultra scenery, and I could just like, I have a couple of options here where I could either make the forest a little less dense, or I can just move things around in the forest, like shuffle everything around, okay? Let's try a shuffle first, okay, with the forest and see if it just moves this tree out of the way, and suddenly we can get, and I can shuffle the forest as many times as I want. The trees, we're just going to shuffle the trees, okay? So this seed right here is our seed shuffle, and so we'll just move this, okay? It's all I have to do is move it, and it will shuffle the trees. That didn't work. I probably should have paid attention to what. Okay, that didn't work. It was almost like perfect. I maybe should have just taken a few trees out. Okay, so, but I think I can shuffle these trees and get it just right. And if not, but you have a million options. Now look at this. See, so, but that's like now this got total light on him and it's blocking the back. Now we got a tree coming right through the camera. All right, so I think what I'm going to do, now remember we turn culling off because we don't want it to cull when you go to render your picture. Now let's go back to this. I don't think it was seed 0, but I'm not sure what seed it was when I started out, which is kind of, I wish there was a way. This would be, okay, 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 let's try the other alternative where we select the trees, the oak trees, and down here we just lower the density a little bit. So thin some of the trees out. And then now that we've thinned them out, now let's try changing the seed. See, I don't want them in full light. I want to some of these leaves to kind of the sun to shine through and put like a leaf pattern on him. Like on his clothes, but maybe have his face in full light. See the leaf pattern on him right there? So it just takes a little bit of kind of, it's like a lottery kind of thing. That's kind of nice, the big tree there in the back. Now, this might work. Let's just, let's go back to our distant light. And let's turn this a little bit like that. Camera. And we turn it back a little bit, just a tiny bit. And there we go. So it looks like he's like actually, so we didn't just stick a figure in front of like a picture, so that that's creating this. All right, and then we go to our render here, and since we have the culling turned off, though all the trees in front of the scene won't get cut out, because then we won't have any of these shadows. And you see, I could just put a tree here. Okay, in front of this, there's obviously a big blank spot here. I could just put any tree here. Pat, welcome. A video on the White Palace. You have to keep reminding me, and we might do something with that, because that's a huge resource. Yes. I'm gonna write that down. I'll put it on a note. I'm gonna put it in a note for myself. Okay, and we'll save it. Save as desktop. Okay, we will look into that. Okay, let's see what our image looks like here. Okay, look at this. See how this works? And it almost melts. Now you see with this, well, I love that you have asked, and I love that you've give me ideas, people. If you want to learn something, if there's a particular thing you want to learn, give me ideas. Now you see how it looks kind of drab in the back? Well, this is where we can kind of come and mess with this a little bit. What happened to the render? It just went away. Okay, is now I can select this background plane, go to surfaces, and say, well, I might have turned it down a little too much, so let's make it a little brighter and a little more, maybe. And maybe what we could do is take some of the blue out of it so that it has a little more of this green kind of thing going on. And then we go here. So, and see what our render looks like. And welcome, Pat. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. So just keep in mind that this culling it's not always going to be what you want, and you got to have a good amount of video RAM to leave that culling off, because it's going to put grass everywhere. It's going to put so what we need, Howie Farks, if you should happen to be watching this, is we need culling to be able to turn culling on and off per scatter, like per item, like for the grass, or just and turn the culling off. And so we can say, well, I want the culling on for the grass because I'd rather only have 7,000 pieces of grass than 50,000, but I don't want the culling on for the trees. Now you see how that background now just melds right into the scene. Okay. And so what we can do now here is we're going to cancel this. Yes. And there was something I wanted to do. What was it? We're going to just soften the light here in the front. Just not soften, but warm. Make this a little warm, the light a little warmer on him, I think. Okay. And we'll take our distant light here, go to parameters, and we're just going to back this down a little bit more. Okay, and now we go here, back to here. Now I have no camera lights here because once you put the distant light in the scene, if you have your camera light set, your auto camera set to auto, as soon as you add a light to your scene, the camera light will turn off. Never render a scene with the camera light on, because it just makes everything in the scene. Always put some kind of light in your scene and shut that camera light off, because it just makes everything look kind of like sterile and uniform, and you don't want that. You want some shadows and some drama in your scene. You want, you just don't want everything like blah, like this blaring camera light, just lighting everything. That's really where a lot of people go wrong in their scene, is by using yes, headlamp is bad. Bad headlamp. There we go. Now, I think there's something weird going on with his neck. I don't know what that is, but it would probably fix it but if I change his body shape, remember I did a dForce on his shirt, it might not like it, but let's, I think it's okay. I think what I'm going to do, though, is give him some chest hair, but we're going to give him some painted on chest hair so that we don't have it poking through his shirt and all. Okay, so I think this is done. Rendering, okay. Let's go here with this bodysuit here, Vincent 9. And it might help his neck if he has something coming up here. I'm not sure how this is going to work. But let's go here now to... It's just, this all looks a little too kind of like there's no detail here. Okay, this is the Omni hair. Where's the painted on hair? Okay, hair, body. Here it is. This is the Painted hair. Hair. Okay, so we go here and we put the body shell on. And it's always going to make him change his complexion, but as soon as you put the material on, it fixes it. Okay, now you have to look through these because some of them say with neck, okay? All right, there we go. That gave him something. With ab, with neck, let's try. That one didn't work either. It's something about his neck that I have to change. The lake mansion. That isn't that new or yeah, the lake mansion. Yeah, that's amazing. They are huge sets. Yeah, it's just a matter of finding with neck. Let's try this. And with neck, we'll try this one. Okay, that one kind of, I've got to do something with his neck. Okay, there's something that just doesn't look right with the neck. Okay, we're going to save this. And my camera's locked, remember? So I'm going to zoom in with the camera. Perspective view. Let's get a little closer to this neck. Find out what it is that looks so weird. Okay, we're going to go with, and his hair looks terrible up close. So, but we're going to go now with our Vincent. And we're going to go with, we've got a bunch of morphs for his neck. So we just go to Vincent 9 and we type in neck. And spine, visible neck, long neck. Probably if we made the neck, let's go here, a little shorter, because he is based on a Genesis 9. That makes it longer. Neck slack. That's we'll just make it a little shorter. Like hello. All right. So kind of talks like that. I don't know. I'm sorry. Neck width. All right. We don't want neck width. Detail. Okay, that's a little too much of that. Neck detail 2. Neck detail 3. Okay, that's fine wrinkles. Front depth. Okay, that might be it. No, it's these weight width. Length, neck, back. What about those two long muscles that go up the side? Volume adjust. Width, chubby, slim, tendons. Okay, there we go. Neck flex. Let's see if we fixed it. Camera. Or did we make it worse? Yeah, I think that's a little better. What if we go here to Genesis 9? We're going to go to parameters, get rid of neck. And let's go here to currently used. Now I have my Vincent body. What if we dial the Vincent body off? Now underneath that shirt, he's got, that looks actually better, but he's got slight boobs now. But let's go into our convert CONV. Vincent. Okay, we've got some other bodies here. The Buster body, probably Callan. Let's try just zoom on Callan's body and see what happens. See, that works. Just a different body. Okay. And now we go into our render settings. And Perry is the vendor. I know him, and he tells me an Italian villa, but will be next. Ooh, that sounds really nice. Very nice. Wow. That is like gargantuan work. You know, I mean, am I wrong? Do you think that would take somebody like a year to make all that? Or do you think that he has like a small army of people who work with him that he pays to? It's like, well, you make the couches and you make the lamps. You make the chandelier. Yeah. So now let's see. Now, the thing is he's not on the ground, actually. And there's not that much I can do because you can't move this ultra scenery ground. You can't. And if I tilt him, it's going to show up. But when I render this, it looks like he's actually just fine in the grass. I could lower him a little. That wouldn't hurt. As long as I don't tilt him, because if I tilt him, I'm going to change the way the sun is actually. And even if I lower him, it could be just enough to change the way his face is reacting to. Because the sun is at a certain azimuth or something, I guess. I hope that's the right word, but it has just the right kind of. Angus, have a good night, dear friend. I hope you've had a lovely day. And you take care. Enjoy your evening, what's left of it. So, yeah, you take care. And have a wonderful night. Thank you, Angus, for hanging here for, well, two and almost a half hour. So, yes, it's been a good day. I walked 5 miles today, so my knee's a little bit weird. I don't usually have knee problems, but I walked a little bit briskly today. So, yeah, now I have to make sure this hand isn't going through his foot, okay, his leg. So we're going to go take the other hand, looks fine, but this one's kind of, I just love the Daz stuff. Now I'm going to turn the headlamp on. Okay, that didn't help. It looks like his hand's going through his leg. Yeah, it is. What do I do here? Now I've got the hiccups. All right, I'm going to do this little bone thing. And we're going to just pull the hand up a little bit like this. That didn't work. We're going to pull it out a little bit. Now, what's going on here? It was fine, and now it's like really bad. Okay. Let's see if I just threw everything off. I kind of think I did. Because now his shoulder's kind of protruding. It doesn't look relaxed. Okay, so I have an idea. Z, we're going to put the hand back where it was. One more maybe. Yeah, okay. And what we're going to do is do the leg instead. Okay. Perspective. And we're going to bend this leg down instead. Parameters. Bend. Okay, a little more. Okay, now I can see cloth coming through here. So the leg's got to come down some more. Okay. Is the leg going through? No, it's not going through the ground. It's kind of what it needed. I'm not going to worry about this leg going, but I could bend it up a little bit. Let's see. What's going on with, see, this leg is up in the air as well, but if I lower the leg, his arm isn't gonna, but his arm is actually pushing the clothing away again, so okay, and we could take this leg, pull it up a little more. Camera. Now that looks natural. Save this. Okay. Now we don't have any, remember we turned the HDRI off, which is okay. But if we go here, you'll notice that everything kind of I guess, let's see. Let's go to now our render settings, and we're going to go to 4000, which is a 16 by 9, and render. I don't think I'm going to be here much longer. A billboard would work in here. Pat, it would work because it's going to create the same shadows on the billboard that it would on a figure. Whether if you'd get, you know, this shadow is kind of complex where it goes in and layers. You see the shadow from these leaves here? I just wanted a little bit on him so that it looked like I didn't just place him in the scene. But a shadow's going to go on your billboard as well. But will it lay across the billboard like it would with a where he's actually a 3D thing, and the shadows are actually coming in here and laying back and laying on this shadow here. These are different leaves. I would have to say no, it wouldn't cast the right, but you'd have to try it. But it wouldn't these shadows would not be cast in a 3D way on a billboard because it's a flat thing, but it might still look right. So you'd have to try it. But I would say that there's a possibility, because we're using this hard shadow effect to our advantage in the scene, that it may not work. Okay, it just might not. So I think you've got a chance it will work, but there's also a chance it won't. And I wouldn't want to give you the percentage. Yeah, the thing is, I usually, Pat, a lot of the earlier images that I put in the scene, I usually have, I was doing like male kind of romance male things, and I've kind of gone away from that because I just don't want to alienate some, I'm not doing romance stuff here because if I'm going to add another male figure into this scene, I'll do it kind of like on my own time. I'll just throw another figure in here because I just don't want to, it'd be nice to have another male figure laying with his like kind of knee up in the air and laying back, maybe with a piece of grass in his mouth or something, and kind of maybe have his leg up against his arm or something. It would be nice to do that, but I just don't want, because, I know with like heterosexual scenes and stuff, me being a gay man, I kind of sometimes there's a little bit of an ick factor with me, and I don't want to impose that ick factor on other people that just have a different mind frame. Okay, so I'm trying to kind of change this my channel to kind of to suit everybody, and that's no, it's not a stir, Pat. I know where you're kind of going with that, and it's not a stir at all. It's I'm just letting everybody know that they're kind of in good hands, and that I'm just that now from now on in these scenes, if I want it's not going to be that big of a deal that if I want to create, because I have a demand in my life. My other channel, they want to have gay romance stuff. And so if I want to make them something that's gay romance, I can just, after I'm done the video, just throw another figure in here, put him in a pose, because the scene's already here, and do that. Okay? So, and then it makes this channel friendly for everybody. So that's what, I'm just thinking, because I also, it's like, it's hard to get people who want to take and watch my work. It's hard enough to get people in here than to alienate them by, not to say that anybody's biased in here, but why push the envelope that far? I'm not an envelope pusher. Okay. I don't have to create massive kind of, I think there is plenty that you can do within the envelope that's beautiful, okay? So that doesn't have to push the envelope, okay? I'm not that kind of thing where I want to jab people and make them yeah. That's it. That's what it is. And so that's what I want is to even though I do work mostly with male figures. Occasionally, I will do some scenes also with female figures in them. Okay, I made a scene with a detective, and with a woman in a red dress, and she had one of those big long cigarette things in her hand with on a little extension, and she was sitting in the office, and she came into the private eye. I don't know if you remember that private eye video. So we're gonna do stuff with but this is a beautiful this is a place for a beautiful romantic kind of like picnic couple guys with this is what is in my mind for this. So, and these leaves, I was gonna say, these leaves look like they're actually, look how these trees are growing right up into these. I mean, this couldn't fit any better together. I mean, this right here is amazing. Ultra scenery is blending right in with this photograph. I took this photograph today, the background photograph. So, yeah, this is quite amazing. As soon as I took that photograph, I said, I know what I'm going to be, especially the ants. Yeah. So, I'm going to try, curly hair for the chest, and it just doesn't, I don't think it works right. But this is what I do. Now, there's problems with the eyes. See the little black spots in the eyes? So I've got to fix his eyes. This is why I render things large, okay? And he's got curly hair on. It just doesn't fit this particular guy. These pants are amazing. Now it looks like we got some shirt pull through here. See, this is why I render things very large, because as soon as you render it at like 4,000 or something, you're going to notice that piece of grass coming right up through his knee. Look at this. See, this isn't good, all right? And how am I going to fix that? I don't know, because I used to be able to unpack things. I might have to pull his... This is a beautiful render, I think. It is. And look how this grass, this is part of the photograph. So it's a proof it's a concept in proof. This is the city I live in, where you can take a photograph and just snap it with your camera. I think this background image might be a little bit bright, and the contrast. It'd be really nice to have on the shaders to have some kind of things like contrast, and maybe even be able to in the shaders be able to add some filters like some vignette filters, and it'd be nice to have a little bit of a vignette here maybe on this image. You can always just take the image into Photoshop. So, but all right, this is a problem here, and I don't. We're gonna have to wait, because we need to wait until there's these. When they said they came out with Ultra Scenery 2, and they said all of the programs work with it, and all of the add-ins work, and all of that, and they don't. They didn't. Well, I don't know that they said the scripts work, because there are Ultra Scenery 1 has a bunch of programs and scripts that. So we have a couple of things. We have this grass here. How do we isolate the grass? How do I just? I know how to do it in Ultra Scenery, but doing it in Ultra Scenery 2, don't know how to do that. So because there are toolkits that work with Ultra Scenery 1 that don't work with Ultra Scenery 2 that I know of, okay? So let's see what we can do here. we're going to pull this out a little bit so that the shirt's not sticking through there. There's something here. I don't know what that is. But I don't think it's his. Now, you see this shirt? It would be really nice to have the new mesh grabber with the smoothing. And notice this, these shadows here. Look, they're very faint shadows. That's actually the sun shining through the leaves and creating like this weird kind of like leaf pattern. See, it's not just this, but it's like the outer part of the leaf is more translucent than the inner part. It's just something. This is just, you can see the little leaf patterns. Okay, so we're gonna close this. We got a couple of things to do. First, I think I'm gonna work on his hair. Because this, I think I might still have that open here. No, we got to go and find materials here. Okay, we're going to give him hair instead of the regular hair, instead of the curly hair with neck. Okay, now let's get closer, perspective view, and see if it's the right kind of hair. Yeah, that's much better. That's painted on, but it looks really good. Okay. And now we go into, select our pants, go into Mesh Grabber, and pull this out a little bit. Okay, I think I'm going to get this at 10. All right, and pull this out a little bit like this. And a little bit like this. Okay, and I think we still got a little problem here. Okay, and did that fix that? Yeah, I think it did. And now I'm wondering if sub D might make this shirt look a little better. Okay, let's get out of Mesh Grabber. Or what, do you see how it's kind of like, and this shirt wasn't meant, it didn't come with, it said it was dForce, but it's not, which was kind of strange. Because I went to run the simulation and it said there's no dForce. So maybe it's only the outer jacket that's dForce. But this looks kind of wrinkly and weird. And that may be because of because I changed his body shape. I think that's why. Let's go back to let's go to here. I have a plan and see if it works. Now we're going to turn the pants off. And then, okay, we've got to hide the lower half a little bit here. And now we're going to go here to our simulation. We're going to clear that simulation and we'll rerun the simulation on the shirt. Now that he's got a different body, it might simulate differently on the different body shape. I think it'll still tuck in well. I think that looks better. I think that's what happened when I changed the body, his body shape. The muscles and all moved the weight maps around and gave his shirt a kind of weird wrinkle to it. All right, so now we can turn his pants back on. See if this works. And it does. Now let's see what happens. Does he have like a leaf? No. I believe this is 100% of the trees. I'll show you something about this. Now, Ultra Scenery 2, you probably, if you maybe remember it from the other Ultra Scenery 2. Now you can see I have these things turned off because there was no river in here, so there's no water on this map, so that didn't create pebbles and stones. And you can see there's 0. The stream side grass, it didn't need it because now there was also no road in here, but it did put road pebbles. I might have picked a thing with a road in it. So I just turned them off. Okay, the road pebbles actually can get turned off in the render as well. But we do have grass, and it's using 2 different kinds of grass. Now, if I turn this grass on, okay, it shows it in the viewport, but it's not showing all of the grass. Why isn't it showing all the grass? Why is it only showing patches of it? Well, that's because you can turn it off up here, where you can tell how much you want it to show in the viewport. This is a preview density, and so the field part is only 10%, and that's so you can kind of move around in your scene, because if you had it at 100%, you'd barely be able to move your camera or move a finger or do anything, and you'd have to turn everything off. So what you do is the forest, which is the trees, is at 100% because we need to kind of see the trees. And there's only about maybe 20 trees in the scene, but the field grass, there's like 17,000 pieces of field grass. So it's only showing the same thing with the litter and the waterway stuff and all these. They're at 10%. They could just as well be off because we don't have any waterway stuff. But it's okay. 10%, it doesn't matter because 10% of nothing. So, but this field is set at 10%. If you want to be able to see it at 100%, you could just drag it up and then it would show you all the grass in texture shaded mode. The other Ultra Scenery 1 wouldn't show you anything in texture shaded mode, which is really nice. And the trees here, it's showing you, it's not showing you, what were they called? Proxies, which were kind of like bubble trees and stuff. They didn't look like real trees. They're showing you the whole tree here, okay, in Ultra Scenery 2, which is really nice because you don't have these proxies. So we're waiting for a toolkit. So they're going to probably make some toolkits where you can break apart these different scatters and edit. No, then we still have a problem with his leg, okay, because he's got grass coming up through his leg. And so what I could do is we're going to take it and do a little trick here, and we're going to kind of make him float off the ground. Okay, I'm going to turn that grass back off in Ultra Scenery first because I can't really move him that well with this grass all turned on. So we're going to go down here. We'll leave it for the render, okay? This V stands for viewport, and the R stands for render. So if I turn this off in the viewport, it will auto-refresh, and the grass will disappear in the viewport, but it will still remain, when the camera's on, it will remain in the render. Okay, the road pebbles are off, the daisies are off. Okay, now what will be nice is when Alienator comes out. It's called Alienator for Ultra Scenery 2. I would love to change these to replace these daisies, maybe with Lily of the Valley or something, and have little Lily of the Valley in here, okay? That would be really cool to just put something that other people don't, everybody's going to have daisies in their scene, until they learn how to, but, okay, let's do something really cool, okay? Let's take this, our Ultra Scenery. Okay, now that's a good idea. It is blown out a little bit. Yeah, thank you for reminding me. Thank you. And I think I'm going to scale it down so we can get some of this little tree leaf down into the scene too. So very good. So what we're going to do is parameters. Very nice. Okay, so we're going to go into plane, and we're going to scale this background plane down a little bit. Move it over, X translate. And, okay, I think I have to make it wider. Yeah, like that, and over a little bit. And then, what happens if I bring this down just enough for this, a little bit of this tree to come in through? We don't lose enough of our field here. I could kind of squish it a little bit, maybe Z scale, is it? Yeah, I could squish it down just a bit. Y translate. No, we'll leave it like that. All right, and so, and now the other thing is surfaces, plane. And we have our base color, and we'll darken it a little bit. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, we got one more thing to do. I'm going to pick Vincent up a little bit like this and see if that might fix the grass coming through his foot. He might look like he's floating a little bit, but I think the illusion will kind of work. Okay, so let's go to iRay and see if the background looks right. Okay, I think it could even come down some more, the background. Surfaces. There we go. That's much better. Thank you, Pat, for that suggestion. Very nice. And now let's see what our render looks like. We fixed the pants. We fixed the shirt. So, he might be a little overdressed for a hot, warm, sunny day like that, like today. But he's not like dressed like an Eskimo or anything. It's not like completely overkill, but maybe a short sleeve shirt might have been better, but I don't think it's terrible. Let's see what we got here. I was going to say, what is that? That's our image in the back. Now, you remember I moved that way, way back in the scene. Okay, now this hair looks like it's more natural. Okay, I've got to fix his eyes. Okay, he's got like little black spots. His eyes aren't right in. Well, it was very nice of you to remind me. Very nice. Now that hair looks natural on his hands. So now you can see there's a little tear here where the fabric's been. This is where Mesh Grabber would come in, because we could just smooth and just kind of take the tension out of the fabric, okay, and fix this particular place where it's kind of spread out the texture a little bit. This is why we have, and this kind of looks a little weird, but it doesn't look terrible. Okay, now I could just use Mesh Grabber and push that up a little bit. Now we still have some grass coming through his knees, but I might be able to fix that by just pushing him back a little bit. I'm not sure. Just a tiny bit, and we can maybe pull that one piece of grass here. Okay, and then we have his eyes to fix. So let's see what we have. Let's we got three things. We got to push that little piece up. Yes. So I think if we just push him back or forward, but I think we're going to go back because I think there's a tiny tuft here of grass. That it's not, the tufts aren't everywhere, but, and I hope I don't kind of throw off the shadows a little. Okay, I'm going to use, okay, that's the plane. We're going to click Vincent parameters, and I'm just going to go Z. We're going to move him back just a little bit like that. Now we're going to take and fix his shirt. So we'll go with this shirt. Zoom in on the shirt here, right in here. And I'm just going to use mesh grabber and just pull this little area up. And hopefully I don't make it worse. But let's see, tool settings, mesh grabber. We go to 5 again. And we'll grab this shirt here. See, now that looks right. Where's the shirt? He does what I do. Whenever I take a picture, I just don't notice that one little mistake where I didn't quite tuck my shirt in all the way. Yep. Save this. Now it doesn't look bad. You know, it's like, who's going to see that? But I like to fix things. Now the same thing with the eyes. Who's going to notice this? I do. I notice the eyes. All right, so we're going to go back to here. And you can see this big, huge holes in the eyes. So so we're going to go, I don't think we're going to go to 120 for the eyes. Okay, we got to get out of mesh grabber. Okay, now there's the left eye. Okay, I could just try to pull the eye over, but it's not going to work. So we have to go to parameters. I think, okay, it says the scale is at 100. We're going to go to 120. Push the eye in a little bit. Pull it over a little bit like this. 120. You know what? You people might think, oh, I'm just kind of so picky and I do, you know, wait till you go and you look at the Daz, because this is a problem with every Genesis 9 figure. When you put a morph on their face, the eyes don't fit them in their sockets anymore. Well, they separated the eyes, Pat, on Genesis 9. They separated from the body, which was a very good idea, okay? But in the process, now the eyes didn't have some kind of synchronicity with the body anymore, okay? It was kind of some kind of programming thing where they would just move in with the body, okay? And so because of that, now you just have to kind of place them the right way in the socket, okay? And make sure. Now, 120 isn't always enough, but I try to stop at 120, okay? I don't usually like to make the eyes any bigger. Now, you say, you know, I might be like, oh, I'm so picky. Why do I, you know, the eyes look fine. Wait until you start looking at Daz promo images and noticing the little black spots on that they didn't fix the eyes. You can look at the Daz, the Genesis 9 figures in lots of things and just look at the eyes and you can see it. They didn't. And the thing is, now his pupils are too big. Okay, so you have to come down here, click on the eyes, and you have to buy the product, the VinMe product, okay? And when I go into here, I type in iris, and this VinMe product, there's only one product in the Daz store that lets you resize the iris, okay? And sometimes that's not enough, how I just resized them down. So this is where they were. That just looks comical, okay? You can't leave it like that. So if somebody does resize the eyes and bring them down, okay, I mean resize and make them larger to fit in the sockets, the iris is going to be too big. So then you have to come in and bring the iris down. This was a week me learning how to fix the eyes because I just noticed they weren't fitting in the sockets right. And so now there's also another thing is you can go in here and go to your parameter settings, and you have to turn it off for all three. These use limits, So you go to parameter settings, use limits, turn it off for the left eye, turn it off for the right eye. That took me like another day or two to figure out, not full day, but I mean, it took me like thinking about it and incubating it in my mind. And now you can make them even smaller. This is just the iris so that they look right. Okay. And then we go back to our camera here, save it. Let's see what he looks like in Iray. No more black spots on his eyes. His eyes look right now. They don't look too big and comical. So yeah, that you have to do that for your figures. If you morph their head any different from the store-bought figure, and you put a different morph on the head, the eyes aren't going to fit. And I like the fact that they separated the eyes from the body, because it makes the eyes become, now the eyes, you have eyes that you can put in your scene. Did you ever want to put like eyes on a statue or eyes inside? Like you take the Daz cat and you can put human eyes in. The Daz cat has like cat eyes, but you can just take the Genesis 9 eyes and put them in the cat and resize them and put them right in the cat's head. Well, I made it, but a little late. You're a little bit late, but that's okay. Better late than not at all. 3D Madness, is lovely to have you here. Thank you for coming in. So I think we are kind of done here. So it's very nice to have you here. So we've got a wonderful night going on here. We've worked today with this image in the background. Okay, now you can see I just noticed that my image isn't going all the way up. Okay, now I've got... Okay, I'm going to turn my mic down here. Okay, I think I'm back. I think I've got a place here where, yeah, see, I did something with I must have dragged it or something down too far. Yeah. We got a checkerboard pattern here. Cancel the render. Let's bring that back up. I might have done some, I think I might have pushed it back with, yeah, I pushed it back with, I was going to push him back and I pushed the sky back instead. Okay, close this. So we can just move this up like this. That works. Save this. All right. Thank you. Yeah, so this is in the background, it's a picture that I took with my phone, with my, this is a 200 megapixel picture that I put on a plane. And then we've melded it in with ultra scenery, with ultra scenery. I think I'm going to move him over a little bit towards the left, Vincent. Let's move him over in that one piece of grass. Okay. We'll save this. And, all right, now let's see what we've got for a render. What have we got? Come on. This is at, we're rendering at 4,000. Yeah, so there we go. Looks like we've got now there is also Photoshop where you could do some after with these couple pieces of grass here. So I'm not going to worry about them. So this is the scene here. And we have this beautiful landscape here in the back. And now there's do you see this banding here? It's just some very, very, very faint lines. Those are not in the photograph that I took, but they're not that bad. We could put some birds in the sky, Pat. Actually, I took some cranes. There was some cranes in the back in the field here, and I used AI to take them out. See, there was like a crane right here, but they were so small that they really just kind of looked like blobs. That's why I took the picture, because I thought, oh, that would be so cool to have the birds right in the scene. I don't have to put them in. But they were just kind of too, like when they turn their head and everything, and if they're not looking at in the right direction, let's put some, we'll try it. I know we can work that out. Some gulls. We'll go to content. And let's see if we can find some here. That might be under flock. Yeah. This one kind of works. Oh my gosh. It's Alfred Hitchcock. All right, so we're going to go here to texture shaded. And go to parameters. And Z. Y. Z. Y. Is this gonna work? I think so. Z. But we're looking at it very up close, kind of. They work. You just don't know how far away they have to. This kind of looks kind of odd. Oh, and I can get rid of a few of these birds too. Okay, so we can come in. All right, that's because they're models. Would you like to cancel this render? Yes. This little kind of, I don't know what that is, but, and then maybe I'll come in and take this chunk out as well. So we'll go and go to our perspective view and look at our gulls. Well, that's weird. Okay, they're not very close to this all, but let's see if I can figure this all out here, this mess, what it is. Because I can't really tell. I can't tell what I'm seeing here. Okay, I think it's this mess right, these gulls here. We're going to take care. So we select, okay, we got to come in with our tool settings. We're going to go to geometry editor. Lasso. Okay, we're going to delete these and see what happens. I'm quite sure it was those. And then there's just too many of them. So let's go with... Let's get rid of these guys here. I'm just going to hide them. For now, visibility will hide them. And maybe this guy. Hide. We can bring him back if we need to. And maybe this guy. And I'll delete them if they look right. Okay, now we go back to the camera. All right, we got to go out of here. Yeah, that look. I think there may still be too many. We'll get rid of one more. Okay, back to perspective view. I think this guy. Geometry editor. Tools. What am I doing? I got to select the right guy. The gulls. Okay, visibility. We'll hide that. Let's see what we got here. Camera. Better to have too many gulls than not enough. And now we... Yeah, that works. And so now we can go back to the gulls, go back to geometry editor. And what we do is right click. This is geometry editing, delete hidden polygons. There. Because if you go out of your project and you come back in, they'll be unhidden again. So if you can delete things, sometimes if you know anything about geometry editor, sometimes you can delete stuff Sometimes you can't from geometry. It like blows up just like dForce. If you try to like delete the wrong thing, and I think it has something to do with the weight mapping, that they put weight mapping sometimes, I'm not sure, on objects. So now yeah, because I've like to fabric sometimes, like some of the cloth fabric and stuff, and you just try to say, well, I don't need the whole fabric. I just want to cut that part off of the fabric, and you go to cut it off, and you delete it, and the whole fabric just completely, like, it doesn't blow up as bad as dForce, but it's it's just ruined. And the thing about Mesh Grabber geometry editor is you can't undo a delete. Once you've deleted that geometry from, and then also when you go to save your project, it has to save this new thing it as a completely new custom object. And so if it's like a complex, like a figure or something, and you've cut their leg off or something, it has to save an entirely new figure, and that can take a while, and you can just sit there waiting while it's saving, because it has to save, because normally when you make a scene and you load the scene, it's just loading that figure with all the morphs and all the movement and position data. It doesn't need to load the character because that's already in your library. So when you load a scene, it's loading that character then with all of the edits that you've done to it. But if you alter that character, then it has to save the character with that leg cut off, or that, whatever with geometry altered. So it has to save the whole character as a new piece of geometry. Okay, so let's see what we have here. Now we're out of, okay. This may be our final render here. I could put a VDB, but I'm not feeling the VDB. I think this character is holding the scene. I usually don't like a scene and if I put the VDB kind of in the foreground, then there's no fog in the background. It might look a little bit weird. So, but I could put a fog wall like in front of my plane in the background. So there's also that possibility. I mean, who has ever like tried to use geometry editor and cut a piece of fabric and had the fabric kind of like shrivel up and turn into a mess? Because I've had that happen to me many times, probably, at least 20 or 30 times. And that's a lot of times when each different time is a different scene. And so you go to move something. Look at that. We fixed the grass. It's no longer coming through his pants. I don't have to. It's in front of his pants now. Okay. So there's our figure. And what was the last thing we did? The gulls? Oh, they look real. That looks pretty good. Yeah, that was a good suggestion, Pat. So yeah. Just one more little bit of realism. And believe me, there are gulls around this. This is Maine. We're talking about the ocean. This is partially, it's mostly, I would say probably maybe 80-90% salt water. And there's a tiny little stream that comes into here, but not very much. There's a couple of streams maybe. There might be some springs that come up from underground too that sort of feed it a little bit, but I would say this is like at least 90% salt water right from the ocean. And there's Tukey's Bridge. Oh darn! I'm glad I looked at this. We've got a little bit of a section here. How about the other side? No, the other side's fine. Okay, cancel this. Yes. So we've got to widen our image in the background here. Look at the detail in the grass from the photograph. And that fits in so well. This is actually marsh grass. It's not really grass. This is grass. This is marsh grass. It's different. It's a different kind of grass. As you can see, it's very different. Completely different texture. And this ground, when you walk on it, it's spongy. It's like, and you can sink right down, and there's like little parts that actually are like actual, like areas that it's just wet. I mean, your sneakers would get all muddy walking in this because it's just, it's not actually ground, it's mud. So let's see now. We go back here to our background image and bring this over some. How far can I bring it over? That far. All right, let me see. Okay, that's enough. That's covered. Save this. All right, and we can just let this render and render and render. Now let's take a look at our render settings again. Everything's okay. That's all ready. It's just going to render until I shut it off. All right. So I hope you learned things. Fix your eyes on your characters. Don't leave the eyes. So you got to get this VinMe. You got to pick this up. Wait when it's on sale. Yeah, this is it. And it's not on sale right now. Don't buy it now. Put it on your list. And you buy this whole, believe me, you'll probably use it. I think I used it to fix the neck and all of the figure. So it gives you all kinds of stuff for the whole body, but it's the eyes that you just can't be without being able to resize the iris. So this product, just that one morph for the iris, well, there's 3 of them actually, left, right, and then both. And you use all 3 of them together. You can't, it's the only product sold in the Daz store that allows you to resize the iris. And the eye of your Genesis 9 figure is a very complex thing because it's not just a ball with an image on it. No, it's not. The iris and those are like separate objects, and the pupil and the white part, they're all like separate objects. I'm not sure exactly myself because it's a complicated thing. It's not just a sphere with an image around it. So if that was the case, you could just use your scaling, your texture scaling. No, you have to morph the eye, morph these parts smaller, which is kind of brilliant There's, nothing about Daz is just kind of the way it seems. There's always something underneath that allows you to go in and go into the guts of things and like change it like almost infinitely. And let's see if we got both sides. Yeah, we've got our image here up on both sides. So yep, our image, this is all looking good. Now, I mean, I would, if I had the mesh grabber, I could bring these pants in. In fact, well, why not do that? Why not just fix these pants in Hexagon? So cancel this render, yes, because that's going to bother me. So we have Unibombers or something, I don't know, flying overhead right now. No, it's just the airport and all, but let's take these pants. It only takes a minute to take them into send to Hexagon. Okay. This used to be like the worst kind of thing in the world. It's like, oh God, I've got to take him into Hexagon, and I'd have to think and think and think of what the heck I'm doing. You can see here that this is the problem right here. All right, so we go to UV Paint, click on our Soften tool, and then we go up to, just better to type in 7. I always make it larger. Enter. Is that going to work? Well, okay. So we just, okay. I'm going to pull this in. Okay, because you can see this is all pulled apart, and this is why we got this awesome little pinch tool here. And this has got to go up to 7 as well. I wish it actually like showed it was 7. Okay, now it does. Now we're going to just pinch this in. Kind of fix this. Didn't need to really fix the back because nobody can see it. But why not? And we got a little bit of smooth. Worked very hard to make the pants, to give the pants like a to give them bumps. And if you take them all out, then you've ruined the pants. I love this pinch tool. I think I'm the reason that that Mesh Grabber didn't get released, because I said, well, I hope they're not going to release it without a pinch tool. And it's like smoothing's not enough. No, you if they give you an inch, you got to take a foot. That's the way life. It's like, I hope they're going to give us a pinch tool. And so now they've got to go back to the drawing board and give us this. We can't work without a pinch tool. We got to be able to pinch these things back together, or else it's not gonna be good. We got to have not just a smooth tool. I know that was the first thing I asked for, but we got to have the pinch tool too. How do I move it? I can't move him. Okay. There we go. Now you can see we got pinch. This is all kind of messed up. What is this? I'm almost thinking that this seam is supposed to come together. I think that's the seam that goes back up the top of the pants. It's kind of got to pull together. See, we wouldn't be able to do this without this pinch stuff. Usually I run the smooth tool over it, but I just don't want to pull this back apart. Oops. Wow, that like worked a lot more when I moved away from it. Okay, I don't know if I can undo that. Yeah, see it when you get closer, it has less effect. Keep that in mind. All right, I don't know if I dare do much more here. But yeah, so we're hopefully now, let's see if we have a pinch tool when they give us that. We don't want just smooth. We don't want to just smooth. Yeah, we've been without smooth. It's like it'd be nice to just at least get that. But now I'm going to take this and smooth that just a tiny bit here. And a little bit here. A little bit here. All right, now we go File, send it as. Come back here. Hexagon morph. And deformations. Yes, accept. Now we can go to our pants. Okay, okay. Wayfarer pants, parameters. Here. And hexagon morph. Turn that on. Let's render the pants and let's render this. We're going to save this because I kind of think I did it right. Let's close hex. You can't go back. So you might as well just close it. No, no. And so I don't envy them having to make those, you know, because that's going to be hard. You notice like when I moved out, the pinch tool was like much stronger. How are we going to deal with that? And then I also told them that it was in one of my videos, and I hope they saw it, because that mesh grabber, that big globe thing, you can only make that so big. And if you want to, if like you have a giant mountain in the background and it's like this massive piece of like geometry, well, you can sort of go in and move that mountain around a little bit, but it'd be nice if that globe thing got a lot bigger, so that you could just like move the mountain over, this part of the mountain in, push that part away, and kind of move mountains with mesh grabber. And you can't, because that round little globe thing only gets so big. It gets big enough where you can do some work with the mountain, but we need to be able, look at that. See, now that looks right. See, it doesn't have that big stretch in the fabric. Now this shirt looks a little bit funky in here, but that's okay. And here, where it looks like it should, and there's a little bit of smoothing we could do here in this shirt. The sleeve looks weird, but I'm not going to fix that. You can't really notice it. Now the thing about using mesh grabber on objects that don't have not mesh grabber, but dForce, and that hair looks like it's actual hair when it's just painted on. That's pretty nice. Now, is that when you put dForce on a shirt like this, the collar just goes flat. It just, and this collar looks okay, flat, okay, but just keep that in mind that there is a way to paint the collar so that the collar stays rigid, okay? You have to go into, I don't know if it's weight, it's not weight map, it's not called weight map, it's called magnetic something, magnetic, and it's just magnetic weights or something, I'm not sure. But you just paint this a certain, like you leave the rest the basic color, and then you just paint around the collar a little bit, like spray the collar, and it will stay rigid. But this to me is okay. It just looks like it's a fabric made. Now this part is kind of pinched in funny, and I could just come in and smooth that just a little bit to kind of pull them apart like I did with the seams on the pants. So, but this is all good. This looks a little rough. Yeah, I like to have like these curves and stuff, but it looks like there's a little bit, this could use a tiny bit of just go over it and smoothen it just a little bit manually. This looks a little rough. So now I might be able to do something with sub D, but you know, it's not bad enough where I really feel like it's terrible, but it kind of is too. So, but it's okay. So, and I could end up cranking up sub D all the way and not do it, and it wouldn't do like hardly a thing to it. So, well, it'd be interesting to see what we have for sub D on there. So, what happens? We've got it saved. Let's cancel this out. Let's just try it, you know, and see if some of this just smoothens out a little bit. Okay, let's do it so we can look at it. Now let's go and look at the shirt. Let's get close enough so we can really see this. Okay, and now, and it'd be interesting if those smoothened as well. Would be parameters. Do we even have sub D on here? It is smoothing. Enable smoothing is on. Smoothing iterations. Okay, now you don't want to bring those up to more than like 4. Okay, that just did something. And sub D level is 1. The smoothing iterations is another one. Collision iterations. We could maybe go up to 4 on that and bring this sub D level to 2. Did that fix it? I don't know. I don't know. All right. That didn't look like it did anything, which has probably made the geometry like really. All right. I think it's better. You know, just little things like this, they may seem like little things, but they just give your, they fix things. And once again, I cannot stress enough that you need to render things large, like 4,000. And you know, it all depends on what your card, because the more you add for resolution in your render settings, the more memory it takes in your graphics card. So if you go up to like 4,000 by, you know, 2,000 or something, and you get the black screen, you got to back it off down to like 3,000 until you get to the highest that your card can do. And because you need to be able to look at things like up close, all right, and see what happens. Like, I wouldn't have noticed that about the eyes, about that the eyes were too small and those little black spots on the side if I hadn't rendered this at 4,000 at 4K. I wouldn't have seen it. So you have to render things large. Okay. I would really love to take this into, yeah, take this into Hexagon. Is it going to really take that long to do it? Let's see what happens when we do it. We've got it saved, our scene saved, just in case I ruin it. The thing about a shirt is a shirt. Good night, Serenity, 3D Rain and Thunder. You have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Thank you for being here. Okay, we got to bring the shirt in here. We're just going to take and smoothen it up. Oh, look at all these different things. Buttons. Okay, there's the shirt. We got sleeve left. Oh, my God. Okay, these are all buttons at least. Okay, I think, what do we do? I don't know if I dare run this, okay, anything in these corners here. Because they're different objects. Okay. What happens if we smooth this? We may just have to, like, 86 this if it doesn't work. Okay, we go to Soften Tool. And we got to, again, bring this up to 7. I might need this to be really large. It might just separate if I come in here. Oh, look at that. It's working. See, I just pulled that. Look what that does. See? Just pulls that in. We got some weird stuff going on in here. Okay. And in here. All right. Very nice. Had Serenity here. It's so nice. People coming in and hanging out like till the bitter end. You know, as long as they possibly can. It's so sweet. I sense people's, you know, dedication to the art. It's just so sweet. It really is. Okay, that's enough of that. Now I'm going to make this larger. Like, so I can just do some spots. We're going to go up to like 10 maybe. No, let's go up to 20. Yeah, just to kind of come in here and just do some spots a little bit. It's like this guy actually does iron his clothes. Just a little bit, and I could end up ruining this, but I only have to use, you know, I don't have to turn the morph all the way up. Okay, we don't need to do the back. Okay, that's all I dare to do. File, send to Daz. All right. Come back here. You don't have to, that's what's nice about this. The only thing you have to change is this reverse, and you don't have to change this initially and like have it remember these things. Like it's just the way it is. You just send it in, do your thing, send it back, and change reverse deformations every time. And that's it. And now we got that morph created on the shirt. We go to parameters. We got the shirt selected. It's always down at the bottom. That looks like it kind of smoothened it out some. I think I missed it on the sleeve, but it did it here. Okay, let's see what it looks like in iRay. Hopefully it's not coming apart here. I think it like fixed these little corners in the shirt. Yeah, it's better. There's a little bit of, and we still have this part here now, which I don't really like that. That's where Mesh Grabber comes in. And we just pull that in a little bit like this. Can we rotate it? There it is. That's better. Now, I might have smoothened it. There were like tiny little wrinkles and stuff. You just have to be careful because you can make it look like a big kind of sausage tube instead of like a shirt. So I don't think I did that though, but I'm still not sure that I like this, but it's better than it was. And okay, so I'm going to save this. If I need to, I can come in and back off on the morph a little. Okay, the only thing I actually moved was this sleeve in. So we go back to our camera. Save this. And I think this is going to do it. I think so. So I hope you learned things here. We took this image from our phone. Keep that in mind. Now, when I took this picture, I tried to make sure that I got enough of a landing area. Think of like a where your picture comes down, and you don't want it to just kind of cut off. You want to have a little bit of the ground in your picture because you might want to stand them on that ground somehow. And you can do that by putting the picture on a curved plane, okay? But you don't have to use that. That's what I'm saying is you don't have to use a curved plane. You can just use another plane and bring the plane in. And this is our, and this image is far, far away because I don't want the trees in my scene putting shadows on the plane in the background because it would put shadows right on the plane and they would look ugly, horrible, just completely. It would look like the background's an image of a plane with shadows on it. So yeah, like a wall, like a brick wall or something with a tree in front of it. It would just look horrible. So you have to put the plane far enough away so that the shadows cannot impact your plane, and then you just stretch it out. And you make sure when you use your camera and you take your pictures with your camera that you set your camera to the highest amount of pixels that you can, like 10 megapixels or whatever, 50 megapixels. Just make it as large as you can. So this is 200 megapixels. That's why this grass looks in this. This is the ultra scenery grass. This is the grass. This grass in here is the grass in the image. So they're mixing in so well. The artists, I used to always have a problem with ultra scenery grass. It's like it's just too yellow, but you can go in, you can select the grass and go into your. I don't know that you can do that now. You used to be able to go in, with the other ultra scenery and select the grass. Okay, this shirt actually looks pretty good now. There's something here. I don't know what it is. It's like something sticking through it, but what could it be unless the shirt is lined or something and it's the lining coming through, and I don't think it is. But material designer, I think I can always never get that name. I think has thickness issues, thickness, and I'm not sure if thickness is actually another plane that's placed on the inside. Because thickness is a weird thing, because I don't think a plane is supposed to have thickness. No, a plane in geometry has no thickness. It has length and width and height, and no thickness. And like a point has no dimension. It's like I always wanted no length or depth or height. Vector geometry is this is all stuff we all know. But you know that and it's like the right hand system, okay? It's that where you point like this, okay? You point your middle finger back at you, okay? And no, this is how it goes. Let's see. This hand, left-handed, okay? Like no, it's okay, how does this go here? I'll explain it to you in a minute here, how this the system, the handed system works. Okay, this is it. It's left-handed. It's a left-handed system, okay? And I have my left hand here, and I have, if you can see my finger here, like this, I have one finger, I have my middle finger pointing back at me. No, okay, that's not right. Okay, yes. The middle finger is pointing back at me, okay? And the index finger is pointing to the right, and then the thumb is pointing up. And you see, so it's a left-handed system because the index finger is pointing in the positive direction. Okay, and the positive direction, let's see when we go into, I don't know if I can get into my parameters right now. I think this is done here, so we'll cancel this. It's almost up to 2,000 iterations. That's all that needs, this image needs. It doesn't have like a lot of weird lighting and all. So, and so now the, when you, okay. Now we go into this parameters, and we go into okay, the plane. Okay, now z, negative z, okay, is in. So if you go from 0 in, you're going in the negative direction. And if you come towards yourself, and see, so this finger, the middle finger, when I have it pointing towards myself, it's kind of like sort of like a gun, but then you use your middle finger and you point it in towards yourself, okay, your left hand, okay? And so your index finger is pointing in the positive direction, your thumb is pointing in the positive direction, and your middle finger is pointing towards you, which is in the positive direction. So if the left-handed system shows you, if you hold your left hand up like this, it shows you all three directions that go in, which way is positive, goes in the positive direction. So and yeah, and if you think about and not, you know, not all now modeling programs have they all, okay, and y is your up, you know, and x is across, and z of course is in and out. But if you just remember that y rhymes with sky, okay, so that's why that tells you that it points to the sky. Okay, so if you just ever have any problems, I know these things, I'm like telling you things that you just kind of know without even thinking, okay? Maybe you didn't know about the left-handed system and about this kind of weird way of understanding it, but that's why it's called the left-handed system, okay? Because your finger now points like this. Now, if you try to do this with your right hand, your thumb index finger is going to point in the negative direction. Your thumb is still going to point in the positive direction, and your index finger, your middle finger, is still going to point. But your index finger is the only way that it works. And if you turn your, it's the only way. Now, if you turn your finger like upside down, then the Y is going to be pointing in the negative direction. And you see, so that's why it's the left-handed system, and your thumb points up, and that points in the positive direction. Your index finger points in the positive direction, and your middle finger points towards you in the Z axis, and that also points in the positive direction. And now some programs have CAD programs that have to do with building, like buildings and architecture. They have the Y pointing up, and the Z and the index finger pointing in the positive direction, but they have the middle finger is switched. It's pointing this way, okay? It's pointing away. But modeling programs like Blender and things like that, where you're not building architecture, like CAD programs, and 3D Max, I believe, also has the opposite, where when you go into the scene, it goes positive instead of negative. That's the only difference in a lot of modeling programs, is that they have the Z, the in and out into the scene, the depth is reversed. So, but this is called the left-handed system. That's how that works. Yes, it's annoying. It is, because your brain has to completely, every time you have to kind of rethink things. View or something, view, had a weird name. And there was also the DEM, this thing where you could use DEM maps. Yeah, where you could use DEM maps and Department of Elevation maps. So they were like, you could get all these maps of the Earth, and you could plug them right into the program, and you could render like actual places anywhere, like on the Earth, because they're the NOAA or something. They have elevation maps for every place and every piece of land in there. And you know what? It's kind of weird that we don't, that technology went away, because they have scanned every part of the Earth. The satellites and all have scanned every land formation, and it's kind of odd that we just can't load these DEM maps, .dem maps, and they're Department of Elevation maps. Yeah, that's Google Earth. And we should be able to just, find like the Sierra Mountains, or Mount Fuji, and just download the Department of Elevation map, and then you could kind of take that map, and you can get that. It's been around for like 20 years, 30 years. But why isn't it something we can use in Bryce? In Daz. That's what I'm saying, is why can't we just load DEM maps? Because they're around. Yeah, you're right, Lithium. It's been around. Those maps have been around. They were around 30 years ago. So, but why, then it's now we have this Ultra Scenery 2, where, this is where a DEM map would be really nice to come in. We do have, we can load, and I believe there was a way to convert a dem map into a height. Well, that's what a dem map is a height map. Okay? So it says, so it's an image file. It's not like really, but you could take that dem map and convert it into a height map. They were also called height maps, but the actual file name was a dem map. Likely a way through Blender. The only way they allow you to do it here is like an image file. So you would just take that, let's see, how to convert. How to convert a dem map into an image map. A 3D model of dem image using QGIS. So some kind of, really cryptic program that's probably how to create a topical map from dem. And that's a Department of Elevation. That's like NOAA. So how do you make contour map from a dem? And look at this. These are dem maps. So yeah, well, the thing is, it's got to be able to read a .dem map, okay? It's because that's a file name, okay? And if you can't import the dem map into something, and I don't know, maybe it's like a text file. There's so many things, like there are, like the error reports and the log files, and even .duf files that you can load into a text editor if you uncompress it, and you can edit it directly in a duf file. The duf file is just a text file. Maybe that's the way these dem maps are, that they're you just change the name of it to bitmap or something instead of and .bmp, and you just change it, and it'll say, well, you'll corrupt the file if you do this, but you do that and you've got yourself an image map. I don't know exactly how do you make a contour map from a dem, okay? So, but how to create a 3D model from a dem, okay? And this is a video here that shows you how to do it. Dem to 3D printable model. Yeah. So, all right, that's going to do it for me. I just thought I would kind of take things into some of the classical, from way back, back to the Garden of Eden. So, all right, everybody, you take care. I will see you again in the next tutorial. I am Rex Red, your host, and this is EZ3DTV, and I'll be back with more awesome stuff. We're gonna learn all kinds of stuff. We got Mesh Grabber coming up, and we've got the White Mansion. We're gonna do the White Mansion at some point and play around, and then make a scene from something there, and we got all kinds of fun stuff to learn. All right, so take care. And happy 3Ding, people. I will see you again soon. Alrighty. Thank you, Lithium. We'll kind of go through. Pat, the polka music. I know it's copyrighted. I got to make my own polka. Okay? I got to make my own polka music. And then Serenity 3D, Rain and Thunder. We got Pat and 3D Madness and Lithium. Logica, the people. Angus was here, and we had let's see, D. Debosky. We had Eve here. I'm not sure who's still around, but Art was here, and then okay, and it's like, how did I miss Henge? DZ, how did I miss him? He came in and just said one thing and I missed it and didn't even say hi to him. I'm sorry, DZ. I hope if you're watching this after, my apologies, and I will try to notice you here. We had Chris Cox here earlier. No, DZ said quite a few things. He had like 4 posts, 1, 2, 3, 4 posts, and I didn't even notice. Oh, I feel so bad. So, and then we had, Lithium's been here like all night. Thank you very much. That's 4 hours and 20 minutes. Thank you, Lithium. You are awesome. We had N Cherry here also. So, all right. Thank you, people. And Angus was the first. He was checking in. He's the first to have been here. Lithium, you were the second person to comment today. So you have been here 4.5 hours. Thank you very much. And I'll try to make some kind of fun polka. All I've got to do is I'll make my own music. We just need an oompa band, like oompa, 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 and some beats and everything, and maybe a little bit of zither, some zither, and maybe an accordion would be good. So, yeah. All right, just imagine it. Okay, so take care. I will see you again soon. Please like, subscribe, click the bell for all notifications, and I will be back again soon, people. Bye-bye for now. Good night, good night, good night.